Now let's find some memory moments. We're going to be reading from a book called Hope Was Here by Joan Bauer. Just some background information on this book. This book's about a girl named Hope. And once again, she must pick up and leave the place that she used to call home. This becomes a recurring theme in her life, is picking up and moving to new locations. We'll start this novel. Our first excerpt is when her and her aunt are just getting into their car to drive away. We walked across the street to the old Buick that was packed to the hilt with everything we owned and had a U-Haul trailer chained to the back. It was May 26th. We were heading to Mahoney, Wisconsin, to start work in a diner there that needed a professional manager and cook. Addie was short on the waitresses, me, and was giving us an apartment. The man we were going to work for had been diagnosed with leukemia and needed help fast. I don't mean to sound ungenerous, but working for a close-to-dying man didn't sound like a great career move to me. I had to leave school right before the end of my undistinguished sophomore year, too. I hate leaving places I love. We were about to get into the car just as Morty, the cab driver, double-parked his yellow taxi. Good old Morty. The first time I waited on him, he unloosened his belt a notch before he even looked at the menu. I knew I had a true believer. I raised my hand to a great tipper. You always took good care of me, kid. He shouted this from across the street as a UPS truck started honking at him to move his cab. I tried, Morty. Wherever you go, you'll do okay. You got heart. The UPS driver screamed something heartless at Morty, who screamed back, Watch your mouth, big man in a brown truck. I don't know what kind of customers I'd get in Wisconsin. Good job finding the memory moment in that last excerpt. Let's continue. We pick up again at about the same point. Now, Hope has gotten in the car with her Aunt Addie, and they're about to set out on their trip to this new life in Wisconsin. And Addie is trying desperately to reassure her. She grabbed my hand and gave it a squeeze. Addie never promised that life would be easy, but she did promise that if I hung with her, the food would be good. Believe me when I tell you, I know about survival. I was born too early and much too small, 2 pounds and 5 ounces. For the first half of my life, I kept gasping for air, like I couldn't get the hang of breathing. I couldn't eat either, couldn't suck a bottle. The doctors didn't think I would make it. Shows what they know. My mother didn't want the responsibility of a baby, so she left me with Addie, her older sister, and then she went off to live on her own. I've seen her exactly 3 times since I was born, when she visited on my 5th, 8th, and 13th birthdays. Each time she talked about being a waitress. What made a good one? Great hands and personality. And what were the pitfalls? Crazed cooks and being on your feet all day. What was the biggest tip she ever got? $300 from a plumber who had just won the instant lottery. And each time she told me, Hun, leaving you with Addie was the best thing I could have done for you. You need constance in your life. She had a different hair color every time I saw it. Addie's been my number one constant. Because of this, I don't buy into traditional roles. My favorite book when I was little had pictures of baby animals, little foxes and lambs and ducklings, who are all being raised by other animals, like dogs, geese, and wolves. Addie said it was our story. Now let's finish out. I stared out the window as the Buick roared west to whatever. Harrison Beckworth McCoy, my best male friend at school, had given me a goodbye present. and I was opening it now as Addie pushed the Buick through Ohio. Inside the box was a small glass prism that caught the sun. A hand-printed note from Harrison read, "New places always help you look at life differently. I will miss you, but won't lose you." Harrison was always saying sensitive things like that, which put him instantly on Jocelyn Lindstrom's male sensitivity chart. He was the only male either of us knew who had made the chart consistently over 12 months. Donald Respighi, who occasionally said sensitive things like, "nice sweater," had been on there twice. Enter memories, sweet and sour. Harrison and me baking enormous mocha chocolate chip cookies for the high school bake sale and having them stolen on Lexington Avenue subway. Harrison's African fighting fish Luther, who ate Chef Boyardee ravioli without chewing. Harrison reading my mother's photocopied annual Christmas letter that she sent out to family and friends. "Dear friends," she'd cross out friends and write Addie and my little tulip. Harrison commenting that motherhood should be like driving a car. You should have to pass a test before you get to do it legally. I held the prison up to the light. The sun hit it and showered colors through the windshield. "Now ain't that something?" Addie said, smiling at the sight. Yeah. I looked out the window, trying not to cry.